So without further ado,
Is that my introduction?
that's your introduction, sir.
Just kidding. Hey, I remember some of you guys from last year, I think, when I was here to talk about, I think it was rest and sleep or something like that, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We failed that one.
What, failed at that one? Uh-oh. Well, let's not fail on this one. This is pretty big, too. They both are, actually. So let me tell you again who I am. As you know, I'm Monty Miller, and I'm an LSCSW, which is a licensed specialist clinical social worker. So I'm 40 degree in psychology with a master's in social welfare, earned all that years ago. And at that time, I was working at Shawnee Mission Med Center. I worked there for 33 years on the inpatient and outpatient psychiatric department, chemical dependency department. Did a lot of work throughout the hospital with lots of other certifications that I do and process improvement things and HR stuff. Then I got certified as a life coach. I became a life coach and operations manager for a nutrition center in Leawood for a couple of years prior to joining St. Luke's. And now I'm part of St. Luke's just about 4 years. And at St. Luke's, I'm an outpatient clinician as well as a corporate trainer like this, and an executive coach, and a physician coach, and all that kind of stuff. I also have a private practice I've had for about 16 years, and probably see about 15 to 20 people a week there. And I also teach at KU and Ottawa University as an adjunct professor as needed in their master's programs. And so I really enjoy it. Plus I kind of have the PhD fever again right now, so I'm looking at PhD programs, but my wife won't let me do that yet. So I can't wait till I can start that again because I love school. So I'm really glad to be here today, guys, to talk about, I think, a really very important subject, which is about food and mood. And how many of us think that what we eat does affect the way we feel and affect our mood? How many believe that? Yeah, okay. How many believe it and therefore alter the way we eat on purpose? Good job. Boy, not as many hands on this one. So, okay, well maybe after today it will be like that, okay? Because really, there's so much truth to it. And as we share some of the research and some of the knowledge that I'm going to share with you today, I hope that really gets you kind of motivated, if nothing else, to do some more research on this and figure it out for yourself, and then start experimenting with yourself. When you eat certain things, how do you feel? What does it make you feel like later on, shortly after you eat it, or maybe even the next day? I would like to see participative, so if you have any questions, comments, stories, thoughts you can share, please do that, so everybody can learn from your experiences. So the objectives for this training, which is going to be really quick, I have to move very fast because there's a lot of information to cover in 30 minutes, but the mind-gut connection, because there truly is, and you'll see a mind-gut connection, components of our diet, common neurotransmitters, inflammation and mood, stress-related eating. How many of us do some stress eating, do you think? Yeah, we do, don't we? Yeah, that's very common. And we'll talk about some of the ways to work through that maybe. Prefrontal control of eating, that prefrontal cortex that we have, which is in the front part of our mind, which is where we have reasoning and logic and good decision-making and creativity and spontaneity and all that. And I'll tell you more about that. The mind and gut connection, more serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter, is produced in the gut than in the brain. It's also known as your second brain. Your gut is known as your second brain because the same material, the same cells, the same, what's the word I want to use? I guess material that your brain is made out of, so is your gut. And so those two communicate very well together. So what we put in our gut quickly communicates to our brain. There's 1,000 different bacteria that are found in our gut. And there's good bacteria that we need in our gut to fight things off. You know, probiotics, you get yogurt, different things like that that would help produce more positive of the good bacteria that we need. 80% of our immune systems are found in the gut. Okay. 60 to 70 million Americans have diagnosed gut disease. Haven't you known probably a lot of people who have problems with their gut, with their stomach? Some people call it nervous stomach, some people call it IBS, some people have Crohn's disease, some people have all kinds of stomach-related things, right? It's a very high percentage. 20.9 million American adults have a mood disorder. So put all that together, mood disorder, gut disease, it's pretty high. There's a strong correlation. So components of our diet, when we think about our diets, aren't there a lot of diets out there, guys? Every week there seems to be a new one, right? What's one of the new ones now? I guess, a real popular one right now. What's that? Paleo. Oh, paleo, yes, very big. Yes, and I've got some stores out there that, places where they fix food, you can buy the foods and make them up, yep. Or you can order them. What else? What? Oh, Atkins is big for a long time. And it'll come back around again, but South Beach diet, don't you hear a lot about that? Now it's kind of calmed down, but you know, a lot of them are related to high protein diets, aren't they? Not that that's bad, but we still need a combination of carbs and proteins and fats. So let's look at carbohydrates. This is the source of energy for the body and the brain. So we do need carbs. When you think about carbs, what do you think of? Bread, okay, right. What else? Pasta, yeah. All that good stuff, what?
Potatoes.
Potatoes, yes. Okay. Anything else about carbs? Do we need carbs?
Sugar.
Sugar, that's right, yeah. Leave it to Alan, right? Okay. He's a killjoy, isn't he? So,
Sorry.
if we look at some of our carbohydrates, you can find them in lots of different products and foods and beans and bananas and fruits. And, you know, we need the good carbohydrates. And we're going to talk about that. We have either complex carbohydrates, which are good for us, and they give us good energy. We need, like you find in fruits. Now, you can also find a lot of natural sugars in fruits, right? Like bananas or pineapples, and there's a lot of sugar. What kind of fruits are really good to eat that's low in sugar and they're antioxidants and really good for us?
Strawberries.
Right, berries in general. Blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, raspberries, those things are very good for us. In fact, you can even go to, and I have a little cup of blueberries every day just with my lunch. I just like them, and I know they're good for you. But you can go to like Hy-Vee or any grocery store, and you can get a bag of frozen mixed berries that have all those berries in it, no sugar added, all natural. And then I'll put it in the fridge sometimes and just let it thaw throughout the week, and you can just dip in there and have fruit when you want it, or mix it with a yogurt, or have it with a meal. Put it in your oatmeal, those kind of things. So they're good. Those are good kind of carbs that we really need. Our body needs those. But then we also have some of the simple carbs, simple sugars, like the junk food, right? Those are not good for us. Do we need sugar? We do. Alan, what have you taught these? They just, you guys are in trouble tomorrow in your class or whatever, but not really. We don't need sugar. We think we do, but we don't. Maybe the natural sugars, we don't need those sugars like candies and sweets that we find and that we like. They're very addictive, and cakes and all those things. We really don't need that kind of sugar. Sugar is really poison for our bodies. And sugar is really, it's candy for cancer cells. It is. Cancer feeds off of sugar. I've known a lot of folks, I'm sure a lot of us have known people with cancer, right? Unfortunately, breast cancer seems to be very, very common. And so I've known a lot of people with breast cancer and surgery and recovery. And boy, they go on these very strict, whole organic foods, diets, no sugars, and it's really helpful in their recovery process. So those kind of sugars we don't need. They're not good for us. We also need proteins, right? And proteins build and maintain muscle and bones, keep cells in working order, defend against germs. Now, when you think about proteins, what do you think of? What's that? Meats, right? What else?
Eggs.
Eggs, yeah. What else?
Bacon.
Bacon, yes. Right, okay, bacon. You guys are all in so much trouble by the time this class is over. How about maybe protein shakes? Aren't we into that a lot right now? Not good or bad, there's just a lot of those out there. Protein bars, but you have to be careful when you buy these things too, because a lot of them have high calories, some of them high carbs, some have sugars in them, or they have a lot of sugar substitutes, which isn't that good for you either. So they may look good and they're called protein bar. I've seen some at 350, 400 calories, protein bars. I'm not sure that's the best one we want to put in our systems. And some really do have a high content of sugar. So you want to look at the content of sugar. I think it's the, Alan, you know which kind of protein bars have the lowest sugar? I can't think of the name of it right now, but they're pretty good. I used to like them for a long time. Now I don't like them for some reason. But they have a very low sugar content in it, like 1 gram of sugar and 21 grams of protein. That's pretty good. I want to say Quest bars, maybe. Have you heard of that? I think they're Quest bars. You can find them at Hy-Vee, you can find them at nutrition stores and those kind of things, but they are really high in proteins and low sugars and low carbs. So when you think about proteins, yes, you can think about fish, legumes, nuts, kosher meats, eggs, all those other kind of things you can see. But we want to make sure that our proteins, you have to have complete proteins. Okay, you need a complete protein. Let's say I want peanut butter. Well, peanut butter is not going to be a complete protein unless I put it in with, let's say I have a piece of whole wheat toast. That would make it a complete protein where it has all 8 amino acids that you need to make it a complete protein. Oatmeal. I love oatmeal, and that's good. It has carbs in it, protein, good carbs. I eat the steel cut oatmeal. And you can put it in the refrigerator 24 hours. I use almond milk or something like that, or coconut milk. And you can soak it in the refrigerator in a little container for 24 hours, and it's great, guys. You can microwave it, you can heat it up, or you can eat it cold. It's very, very good. And I may put some honey in it once in a while because that's a natural sweetener. But I definitely put some walnuts or almonds or something in it to make it a complete protein. Does that make sense? Okay, so you want to think about how we can get those complete proteins that are really good for building and maintaining our muscles. Okay, now do we need fats? Yes, we need fats. You know, one of the really best diets out there, I would probably say, and I'm not recommending anything, but Weight Watchers has a really good program. If they want a well-balanced meal, they always include fats in some of their meals because they know that we do need some of those. Okay, they don't eliminate, everyone has to have protein only, no carbs and no sugars and no fats. That's not necessarily the healthiest, okay? So fats provide energy and assist in the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins such as A, D, E, and K. How many say vitamins? Yeah. You think they're important to you? Yeah. What about vitamin D right now? Yeah. For the winter, we're all pretty low in vitamin D no matter what. Winter, we need more of that too. And so we do need some vitamin D in our systems. Vitamin B is good for stress, vitamin B complex. Now, I'm not recommending those things because I'm not a nutritionist. But I would say you might want to check that out with Whole Foods or check it out with a nutrition center and see what kind of vitamins would help. Fish oil is really good for stabilizing food as well, but it's good for your cholesterol. So when you think about fats, what do you think of? What are fats? What's that?
Butter.
Butter, right. Boy, don't we like butter, huh? What else? Popcorn butter. What else? When you think of fats? Avocados. Yes, they are good, aren't they? Yeah. What else? What's that? Cooking oils. Yes. Okay. How many of you remember Crisco? Years ago, those solid Crisco things. I swear my mother made cookies out of those. I'm not sure, but I think she did. That's disgusting, isn't it? Now, when you think about it, that's disgusting, but she did, right? That was the common thing to do. Do you know how long that can last on your shelf? That can of Crisco? What? Yeah, 110 years is what they say. Well, you think that's good to put in your body? No. Anything that's solid like that, any solid fats like that are really not good to put in your body, especially when they can last 110 years. But we did it for years, didn't we? Okay, so think about your arteries and cholesterol, all that. So we really want the unsaturated fats. Unsaturated fats would be the coconut oil, sesame seed oil, saffron oil, those kind of oils are good for us. We need those. When you think of saturated fats, think about the thick, kind of that white Crisco thing, or anything that's solid, hard. You see, some of us like fats like that, don't we? It's got a lot of that saturated fats in it. These are trans fats over here, like crust and cookies, or not cookies, but crackers, and they can be very addictive. You get hooked up on, crackers can be really great. I used to love bread, and I had I think about 15 years ago, I went on one of those, Suzanne Summers used to have a diet out there, maybe she still does, I don't know, but I went on that for a little while, and it broke my craving for bread. I don't like bread at all now. I never eat bread, seriously, hardly ever, because I just don't like it, but I really had a craving for it. But once you break through some of those cravings, and you get through it, you get through the benefit phase, you really don't want some of that stuff anymore. Okay, so, how many of us have gone out to lunch maybe and had a great big meal at McDonald's or Burger King or something like that, lots of French fries, and we're fine for a while, but we come back for a little while to our desk, then what do we feel? What's that? Yeah, you want to crash, don't you? And you feel kind of sluggish. Well, it's your body has to really work hard to break down that fat, and it's going to wear you out. It really is. And so you're going to be okay for a little while, but then you're going to drop. Okay? It can really affect your mood. So let's look at some common neurotransmitters. These are things, chemicals that we have in our brain that we need. And we have serotonin, like I said earlier. We have dopamine. And we have norepinephrine. Now we're going to go through what those are here in a minute. So you eat what you are. Okay, so think about that. What we have is we have these axion and dendrites, and we have these communication channels in our brain. And when we eat junk food, we're going to have our myelin sheath, which is around these connectors that help us connect in our brain and communicate with different signals, starts breaking down. You see where it's breaking down there on the myelin sheath around that? And it won't let neurotransmitters in very well. The ones that we need that help us feel different, okay? But when we eat healthy food, we can have healthier activity in our brain, and neurotransmitters are fitting together, and they work and communicate and give us the great benefit. So they've done a lot of research on this. Let's look at different ones. Serotonin plays a role in emotion, cognition, sensory perceptions, sleep, appetite, hormone secretion, sexual behavior, temperature regulation, and cardiovascular regulation. So we need serotonin, don't we? Some of the antidepressants out there help increase serotonin. So we'll feel better. Now you can also get too much serotonin, but a lot of antidepressants help you utilize and have more serotonin. But some of the foods that we eat can also help create more serotonin. So when we're low in serotonin, we could have depression, we could have panic, we could have bulimia, might have insomnia, OCD. You know what OCD is? Excessive compulsive disorder? Yes. I've been identified as that many times in my life. Impaired attention. Those are things that when they're low in serotonin, this is what you could experience. Okay, so now when you're high, maybe too high in serotonin, you could have mania, you could have hypertension, high pulse, muscle weakness, irregular heart rate, and seizures. So it's not good to get too high of serotonin in your system either. So foods that increase serotonin, because we need the right amount of it, would be like carbohydrates, tryptophan that you would find in turkey, soy nuts, chicken and milk. How many of you have had soy nuts before? Have you ever eaten those? Aren't they good? I like them a lot. Yeah, you can go to, well, yeah, you can get the ones that are honey-coated, or you get them, no, I'm not talking about those. So the organic ones, and you can find them at Hy-Vee most of the time. They have an area where you serve yourself. And I've done that many times. It's good. It's a great snack. Or to put it on your salad. It's like croutons. I mean, they're great on the run to use. You have cottage cheese and you have tofu. SSRIs are some of those antidepressants that really increase serotonin. Neurotoxins decrease serotonin. So these things that would decrease serotonin would be alcohol, caffeine, and nicotine. Okay, so be aware of that. So when stressed, we tend to self-medicate with sugar and chocolate to increase serotonin, don't we sometimes? Yeah. Or even when we get kind of sluggish during the afternoon, what do we kind of go for sometimes? Right. What, a Coke or coffee or something? Yeah. Or a chocolate bar or something. We think, oh wow, we need some energy. And yeah, you may get some real quick energy, but it's not going to last very long. And it's not good for us. The best thing to have in the afternoon, or anytime you feel kind of sluggish, get a handful of almonds and maybe some caffeine, yes. Not like Coke or anything, or Diet Coke necessarily, because that's not good for you either. But coffee, tea, those kind of things, get some caffeine, that would really help. I used to love Diet Coke. How many like the Diet Cokes? Yeah, if you see some of the research out there, it's not so good, guys. No, and I knew that forever, but I had a code therapist who shamed me to death one day for drinking that. And that was like 3 years ago. I haven't touched it since, because she shamed me bad. And so it's like shame therapy, I guess. I don't know. But she said, how can you go out there and teach people not to do these things and you're drinking Diet Coke all the time? I guess you're right. So I stopped 3 years ago and I haven't touched it. So that's not so good for you, but caffeine and some good protein can really help you liven up. So dopamine, also known as the pleasure-seeking hormone. Okay, so we have necessary for pleasurable sensations. It creates a natural high from the anticipation of an activity. So when you're anticipating vacation, maybe, or of course anticipation coming to work every day, right? You're going to get a good shot at dopamine, right? Or anticipating going to Ellen's class. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of dopamine, aren't you? So it's that pleasure-seeking hormone. When everyday sources of reward are lacking, unhealthy alternatives are pursued. Okay. When you're low in dopamine, you could have depression, ADHD, low libido, and Parkinson's disease. Now, if you're too high, you can have anxiety and paranoia. So you need all these. It's interesting, but you do need all these neurotransmitters to be balanced, right? So that's why you want to look at using some of your foods to help you do that. So the foods that increase dopamine would be protein, like tyrosine. You can also find that in a vitamin form. Almonds, avocados, bananas, dairy products, lima beans, pumpkin and sesame seeds. Alternative solutions include nicotine, amphetamines. I'm not recommending these things. Cocaine and opiates. I am not recommending. So don't leave here thinking, Alan, he said we could have cocaine or amphetamines. Okay, that doesn't work, but it would give you some dopamine. Foods that decrease dopamine would be sugar, saturated fat, refined foods, and what else? Okay, that's it. So we don't want to, sugar can decrease dopamine. There's another chemical out there, guys, that's real important to us, is oxytocin. How many have heard of oxytocin? What is it? Do you know?
Hugs.
You're right, yeah. Did you know that? It's like the cuddle hormone, they call it, because you get it from touch, but you get it from doing something nice for somebody. That might be hard for some of you, I don't know, but when you do something nice for someone, or when you see someone do something nice for somebody, you also get a drip of the oxytocin, right? But the problem is oxytocin doesn't stay in your system very long. So you need more of those events, right? Yeah, so you want to work at finding ways to do something nice, finding ways to, don't go around hugging everybody. I'm not saying that, although it's not a bad idea, but I'm not saying that because you might scare people. But it is a good idea to have good, close relationships. And to have those that you care about and they care about you. You'll get oxytocin that way. The other chemical is that cortisol level. What's that? What's a cortisol hormone? What is that?
It's your belly fat.
It's what?
It's the
It's
stress.
the stress. Yeah, it's the stress hormone. Now, we all have plenty of that, right? So, in order to balance out that cortisol level, you need more oxytocin. So, and again, cortisol will stay in your system for a long time. And then the oxytocin doesn't. So you got to have more oxytocin events to get that chemical. And you want the cortisol levels to come down, because that can really damage a lot of organs in your body, especially the adrenal glands. Okay, now norepinephrine plays a role in regulation of fight and flight response that we have when we get scared or threatened in any way. Regulation of mood, sleep and dream function, appetite, and gastrointestinal function. So when it's low, you could have depression, you could have ADHD, loss of interest, impaired memory. I know you all are going to get out here blaming all these chemicals on things, right? But when it's too high with your norepinephrine, then you could have anxiety, panic attacks, increased arousal, and decreased appetite. Okay. So some of the foods that increase norepinephrine would be protein, carbohydrates, B6 rich foods like tuna, bananas, salmon, beans, nuts, eggs, and cereal. Okay. Inflammation and mood. How many know what inflammation is? Okay, what is inflammation?
It's inflammation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I don't mean to pick on you, but thank you. Anything else you want to?
Well, it's when, I don't know, things are inflamed and bigger than they be, yeah.
Okay.
Irritated.
Okay, good, okay. Oh, what would you say? Please say something different. What would you say? Don't say the same thing, no. What would you say?
It gets expanded, it's bigger.
Right. And inflammation is really the silent killer, guys. A lot of us can have a lot of inflammation in our bodies and don't even know it. And so we want to be aware of this being a not a good thing for us, and it truly affects our mood. I'll talk to you some more about this, but it's a silent epidemic. Markers of inflammation in the body are correlated with depression. It's a alleviation of inflammation may alleviate symptoms of depression, the gut-brain axis, and some of the things that cause inflammation in your body. You can end up with things like metabolic syndrome. How many have heard of metabolic syndrome? Yeah. What do you know about that? Anything?
It makes you fat.
So, yes, it can. It makes it very difficult to lose weight, and you have to have certain symptoms in order to be diagnosed with that. But high inflammation, you can do a blood test, a C-reactive protein, in your blood, and if it's really elevated, then that's a sign of inflammation in your body. And that's not good. Inflammation will really destroy your body in many ways. Having hypertension, maybe pre-diabetic, having a lot of weight in your gut area, that can lead to metabolic syndrome, to where you can't lose weight no matter what you do. I mean, it's just, they've really got to work up this whole system in order to get that corrected. You can do that through vitamins, through food intake, and through exercise and things like that. So, but more people are probably walking around with it than they realize. And it's very dangerous, very dangerous. So some of the toxins of the origin that really can create inflammation is water. Sorry, no water, air, again, household products we touch and put in our bodies, sleep deprivation, and obesity. Sleep disorders is another thing that can really lead to the inflammation in our bodies. How many people know people who have sleep disorders today? It's very prevalent. In the CPAP machines and the sleep studies you go through, it's very prevalent. Foods that increase inflammation would be hormone-laden produce and dairy, omega-6, trans fat, PBA, which is that chemical I believe you find in plastics and stuff, high fructose, corn syrup, and sugar. Those will all can lead to inflammation. We have a high epidemic, I believe, of diabetes and childhood diabetes and obesity, don't we? Why? Why do you think that is, folks? Sugar, yeah. And why are we having so much sugar intake? And what's going on with our system right now? Our society.
They put sugar in everything.
Well, they do put sugar in everything because why? It's addictive. When you go in the stores, where's the eye level? What's that eye level, guys? It's going to be the stuff that's really addictive, and the sugars and junk food's cheap, isn't it? Healthy food, unfortunately, vitamins is expensive, which is really mixed up. We got to change that someday. Plus, all the drive-throughs, all the eating on the run, convenience, and people are busy. Kids are busy, and all the sitting we can do now, right? Remember, sitting's our new smoking. It's going to kill us. It is going to kill us because we can really sit all day. If I had a copier in my office, and I roll around that chair, I really wouldn't have to get up and home. But I'm glad that I don't have a copier in there. But you want to be intentional about getting up. And kids, they're on their iPads, they're playing games, they're watching the videos, they're doing all that. They can sit all day and evening. So you got to be really aware of that. There's a great book I'd recommend called The Sugar Blues by William Duffy. It's a really good book that, if you want to learn to not like sugar so much, you ought to read that or do some of that research. Anti-inflammation or inflammatory management would be spices, grains, and legumes. One of the things my wife uses is that the spice, what is it, Alan, that's a big thing for anti-inflammation right now? Turmeric, yes. Yeah, she takes it and it really helps her a lot. I've tried it and I don't feel so good with it, so I don't take it anymore, but she can take it every day and it can really reduce inflammation. Inflammation causes arthritis and joint pain and that kind of stuff that can really be reduced if you sometimes take something like that. Grains, legumes, fruits and vegetables, mushrooms, that water, green tea. I know, but limited alcohol consumption. Dark chocolate. Y'all like dark chocolate? Yes, dark chocolate covered almonds are good, but they can be very addictive. Sometimes my wife keeps a really dark chocolate in the refrigerator. I forgot, it's more cocoa than anything else. I mean, it's really bitter. But when you have that real chocolate craving, that can curb it sometimes just like that. My daughter gets this chocolate craving every month, really bad. I mean, it's like, you better have something in the house or I'm going out and buying something for her. We'll do that, really. This is for the whole family, but there is something about that chocolate, and I'm serious. So, and I'm lucky. I never liked chocolate. I never did. And I still don't like chocolate. If I have tea chocolate, white chocolate maybe sometimes, or a very milky chocolate, but I don't care for chocolate. So I'm really fortunate. And I don't care for cakes and pies, and never did. I really ate pies, but cakes, my daughter's the same way. I know, it's very bizarre. Exercise and weight loss is good for anti-inflammatory things. Even Alan's class would be good for that. Adequate sleep. It's real important that we get our sleep. Sleep has so much to do with us, guys. I don't think we realize. It affects our metabolism. It's the recovery of our brain. We need to be able to sleep. And a lot of us struggle with sleep and getting good sleep, getting all the stages of sleep that we need. Another great thing to look up on the web is choosemyplate.com, and you can find all 3 meals, kind of examples of how you would mix your foods up. to make it really healthy for you. So it's pretty simple. It's really good to food prep. How many food prep every week? Okay, Alan, okay, he does. You got some stuff to be teaching these folks, Alan, yeah, because every Sunday I
Honesty
do
though,
my
they're a very
food prep.
honest group.
What's
They're an
that?
honest group though.
I guess they are,
Yeah.
yes. Well, that's good, but you're gonna pay for this. But, no, I do every Sunday, I do my food prep for the week. So there's no decision made what I'm gonna eat every day. Plus, I eat the same thing every day, I don't care. You know, it's just fuel. Food is just fuel, guys. But I will make up my fruit, I may put them in little containers. My chicken, because I have a chicken soup that I eat every day for lunch, but I had chicken because I need more protein. My trainer says I need about 30 grams of protein per meal. That's a lot, really, for me. And so I've got to work at getting more protein in my system. I just started working with a trainer, I think I said earlier, I really don't like it. It hurts really bad. It's a love-hate relationship. I don't look forward to going every week, but I'm doing it anyway because I know that I need to make myself do that. And I need some regular schedule of that. So I'm doing it, but I don't like it so much. Okay, but I haven't tried Alan's class. I probably need to try one of his classes, and then it will turn me around, don't you think? The Mediterranean diet's a really good diet to follow. It's anti-inflammatory. It has a lot to do with fish and nuts. And I saw wine on there. You saw that too, didn't you? Yes. Well, these guys are something else, Alan. They're funny. So that's a good thing to look up if you want to kind of follow stuff, especially for maintaining weight loss. It's really good to follow a Mediterranean diet as well. So you can look these up on the web. Okay, stress-related eating, the primitive brain. Memories and food. How many of us have that memory of food smells? You know, grandma's kitchen, when you walk in, smell the pie or whatever. Can't sometimes that make you want to eat that kind of stuff when you never thought about it until you smell that? You know, or you walk in stores, you know they do that on purpose. You know, those commercials. Remember that Cinnabon store or whatever was in those malls? Oh my goodness. I think people just follow their nose to those things because it's very strong. So we have those kind of memories that trigger us to want to eat certain things. But what we really want to do is learn how to emotion regulation and control, cognitive training, delayed gratification, short-term incentives consistent with long-term goals, making a choice to silence or amplify our genes. And what that means is, you know, you may have the genetics, like I do, for heart disease and for heart attacks and for obesity, but just because you have those genes, it's like the gun may be loaded, but you don't have to pull the trigger. You don't have to express the genes. Now, it's a fight. It's a fight every day of my life. And I can feel my body wanting to do something very natural, which is, end up like my father who died at 65 with his fourth heart attack after bypass 10 years prior, bypass surgery 10 years before that. And I can just feel my body wanting to go there, but no, it's a fight. So the genes don't have to get expressed. We can't blame it on our genes anymore, like we used to. And then my brother's already had his first heart attack, and he's in his, I think, late 50s. Just had his first one a couple years ago. So you can control this, guys, if you work at it. And using your prefrontal cortex, which is really the front part of your brain, which is where you're not making an emotional decision, you're making a logical decision, delayed gratification, and receiving the benefits of eating healthy and exercising and feeling good. And then if you get to that benefit stage, you'll kind of want to keep it. You don't want to lose that. How many of us have done that? Where you really felt good, you were eating great for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden you kind of fall back. Something happens, you get stressed out, and the very worst thing we can do when we're feeling stressed is make our body stress with putting bad foods in our system. I learned once I can control what I put in my mouth, which is the only thing I can really control in life, if you think about it. It's what you put in your mouth, what you say, maybe what you drink, of course, and then maybe exercise. Other than that, I can't control anything else. But when I control this, I can better manage everything else in life that I can't control. But when your body feels bad, you have inflammation, you don't feel good about yourself, you're lacking confidence, and you're trying to deal with daily stress, it just doesn't work so well, does it? So think about what you can control and then take charge. So in summary today, the mind-gut connection matters. Your gut is your second brain. It truly is. You are what you eat. Dietary components, and you eat what you are, common neurotransmitters. So how you feel will also affect what you choose to eat. Inflammation negatively impacts mood. Stress-related eating can be managed. So change is within your control. Don't give that control away to somebody else. But you don't want to hurt their feelings because you didn't eat their pie or whatever. That's not your problem. That's theirs. Or when you go out to eat and you just have something to drink like coffee or tea because they're eating and they want you to eat too, well, that's too bad. And it's not about the food, it really is. It's about the relationship. And so people get okay with that. If they don't, that's their problem. But don't give that away to anybody else. Oh, I don't know, I threw my dogs up there. You know how close I am with my dogs. I don't remember those stories I'm not going to share with you today, but that's my little one right there who goes everywhere with me and likes to, you know, we go biking and we do race walking together, but she's in a pouch if you remember. Okay. Moving forward, if you were to consider the impact of food on your mood, what changes, if any, would you make? So what would you start eating to help yourself feel better or feel less fat? What's that? Ice cream? Is that what you said? Oh, I just said, we gotta do this all over. You better stay for the second class now. What's some things you might change after today? Anything you're gonna remember?
Bananas.
What's that?
Did you say bananas didn't come
Bananas, yes. Now they also have some sugar in them, natural sugar, but sugar, yes. What else? What's that? Avocados, yeah, very good. Guacamole, I want guacamole, that's good. Okay. What else?
Almonds and nuts.
Almonds and nuts, yeah, they're great. I always carry those with me, typically. What else?
Less sugar.
Less sugar, yeah. No diet soda, yeah, really. Yes, I do feel better without it, to be honest with you. Yeah, it can cause a lot of joint pain and other things too in your body, so it is better without it. Maybe a little bit, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Just don't let it get too big. Sometimes if you just have a little, you gotta have more. So, okay guys, it's really been great working with you today. Thank you for participating. You did a really good job. And I hope you remember some of the things that we talked about. Do some research. Figure out what you want to know about your body, what works best for your body, and then take charge of that. Okay? And make sure you go to Helen's classes. Looks like you've been going. Yeah, he does good, doesn't he? Okay. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you.